Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MTG Paper Legacy March League of 2021 Semifinals Edition. I am joined by my co-commentator Oliver. How you doing today?
Oh, I am living the dream. I'm so excited we could get to sit down and watch these two top tier players battle it out in this semifinals match.
It's gonna be a ton of fun. We've got Izzet Delver versus Doomsday. Black Sky, of course, on Doomsday, one of our resident Doomsday players, and we got Tensai on Izzet Delver. Even though he's usually known for Cephalid Breakfast, he's changed it up here in this March League.
As you pointed out previously, Tensai is one of those players that he can kind of jump to any deck and definitely perform. And kind of one of the big storylines of this event is the return of Black Sky Doc. Black Sky Doc taking a month or two away from our Discord due to some school stuff and coming back and just completely tearing it up in this league. It is great to see it back or to see him back in action.
Honestly, it's tremendously wonderful to see him again. Black Sky, of course, is from Florida. I've talked to him before about his decklist choices. As a resident Florida boy who's now no longer in Florida, I feel that connection. So go Florida team. But he is a wonderful Doomsday player. Absolutely brilliant at it, makes a perfect piles, and this is one of those decks that really rewards you for knowing how to make your piles. You live and die by your piles.
Oh, don't get me started on this. This is the sort of joke that, or this is one of the sort of decks that we joke about playing, and then you try just playing like through two leagues on MTGO and immediately put it down.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is that deck where it's kind of like the brainstorm parallel where people play brainstorm and they don't know how to play it and it's just like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Or when they do ponders, like, do I want this on top or do I want this second from the top? With Doomsday, it's okay, I'm gonna put this over, I'm gonna pick 5 cards, and then I gotta figure out where I want these 5 cards to be. Do I try and metagame the person because they might surgical me? Am I gonna try and metagame them because they might mill me? Like, what's gonna happen here?
Oh, absolutely. It's the brainstorm problem, but compounded to be an entire deck and an entire strategy. And of note here, Black Sky Doc is going to be on the play. Black Sky Doc was one of the two players tied for the first seed
Oh
going
yeah.
into the league finals, and I believe both players are keeping 7 here. Correct?
No, so Black Sky went down to 6 from what I saw,
Okay.
and Tensai is at 7.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We're seeing Ponder, Stifle, the Whale, the good old Young Pyromancer, and Delver. Can I just say how much I love to see the Whale in these Delver decks nowadays?
Order's a lot of fun. I really like it as a 2 of. I'm happy to see Pyromancer again. Pyromancer was in a decline for a little bit. Dreadhorde Darkness was too oppressive. But now we're seeing Pyromancer's return as well as Stifle coming back.
Oh, I've been blown up by so many Stifles lately. Don't even get me started. I definitely, that first week in this new meta, I had to relearn how to play around Stifle. It was one of those things I had forgotten over the past 6 weeks or 6 months or so. And it looks like Black Sky's really tanking on this duress. For me, when I think about this, it kind of feels that it's all down to
Ponder,
did take the ponder. Yeah,
of
sounds
course.
right. If you aren't afraid of the stifle just punishing you, either if you're going for an immediate pile or you have a fetch land next, it's fine to just take the ponder. Try to keep Tensai from being able to sculpt his hand and get to really any other forms of interaction. Because of course, if the stifle is the only form of interaction for Black Sky's pile, Black Sky can absolutely get through that.
Yeah, 100%. It seems like we're going to be searching for a Volk. We have, I believe, 4 of those in the deck. Um, it's just consistency for the mana base, trying to get somewhere, having the red access. And we're just going to play the Delver.
I mean, got to put that pressure on. That's exactly the way that you need to punish Doomsday. Is hopefully Black Sky
Biters.
takes the time. Woo! There we go. Seems good.
But and it was almost relevant, and then it wasn't.
So of note, kind of looking at Tensai's list, a lot of the things that we've been seeing lately from the blue red delvers has been going up on forked bolts and kind of down on chain lightning, kind of being anti elves, and then just really good against all the X1s that are in the format. However, when you're getting into these sorts of matchups, and it very much is about race, missing that 1 point of damage on the chain lightning can be incredibly detrimental. We're seeing a wasteland fire off on this underground sea. I really do like this play, just trying to stymie Black Sky Doc or stymie his progression going forward. But Tensai making the decision to split the Forked Bolt and the Chain Lightning. So hopefully we won't have the Forked Bolt come up at all, and he'll be able to just convert all these burn spells into damage post Doomsday.
Mm. And I think from what I saw, Tensai shouldn't have been able to play that Wasteland, but I believe it's not going to be something that matters yet. Because I believe he just accidentally played 2 cards a turn. If this was live, which it's not for anyone who's wondering, we would stop them. But this has already been recorded in the past, and we know for a fact that this is not a problem because they never tap this. Spoiler alert: Volcanic ever again. So don't worry.
Well, that is very right. I was so busy going off about these fork bolts that I totally missed that it even happened. That is why I am not table spotting today, y'all. Thank goodness.
Yeah. We did have a look at this earlier today, just to be sure. But it does come up, and thankfully he never plays with the Volcanic after casting the Delver with it on the first time around, and he brings it back, plays it, and then accidentally plays the Wasteland on the same turn. Not that it matters, because the Wasteland would have been played here or the next turn after. And thankfully it doesn't affect the outcome of this match.
Oh,
Because the
absolutely.
Volcanic is actually never tapped, from what I recall.
You know, that's just kind of one of the detriments of us doing these pre-recorded league finals. It's incredibly nice now that we have our international community grown so much, right? Just because it was incredibly hard for our EU and APAC players to make it for our league final stream when we were doing that. But the unfortunate, the side effect of that, of course, is that when things come up or things get missed during a game, we can't go back and correct it. Unfortunately, the recording stays as it was.
Yeah, thankfully it doesn't become a super big problem later on, because we did a VOD review first to see if it actually affected anything really massive. You see him tap it here, but at that point he would have tapped the other one. It never comes up to the point where something would have happened. Thankfully.
And we are seeing the whale come down.
Hmm.
So I'll be honest, I'm one of the people who have not watched this match before. When we get to this point, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned looking at Black Sky, right? Where it seems as Black Sky's been missing land drops. It seems like our only really way out is to go with Dark Writ and Doomsday and combo off on that same turn plan. The only issue is, of course, this known stifle. Um, you can make your pile to be able to beat that, but it's going to be a little hard to do that on the same turn. So it's going to have to be Doomsday and win on that turn through the stifle, which could just be a little bit difficult. And I know that me with my small infect brain, I don't know if I could exactly be able to handle all that.
Yeah, we're gonna see the stifle here. Because I've seen this VOD before, and everyone is watching it fresh. Oliver hasn't seen it, thankfully. But it's gonna look a little different because I was the one recording this. So I know for a fact what's happening here is in response to the stifle, the other fetch is being cracked. And they were having a discussion there about like what's going on. And what's on the stack. So first fetch gets cracked, stifle in response, fetch in response to the stifle. So we're gonna see the snow covered island come out here. And then I can't remember what happens next.
Well, this is exciting. We're all on the edge of our seats now. Also of note, we've talked about Black Sky Doc being a US Florida player, but Tensai actually hailing from Dubai. And here comes the days on the stifle. That stifle looks like it is not going to be converting.
Ooh, unfortunate.
Graveyard Order just a little messed up on Black Sky Doc's side, but again, thankfully we aren't really playing any of the decks that that Graveyard Order actually matters for.
And it
And
won't matter when he does Doomsday because it exiles everything, if I remember correctly,
that
too.
very very true.
I don't think he has any reanimation targets, from what I recall, in his deck list. If we
Oh,
were playing things with cards that actually matter about the graveyard, then yes.
there is no shallow grave in the deck,
Yeah.
so no, it
Yeah.
does not matter.
Thankfully, it does not.
Seeing the Strix come down, this is actually quite a big of a problem for this this Ethereal Forager. Of note, this really is the one card that Fork Bolt is good against out of Tensai, right? It's the one power and can get a damage, or a one toughness and can get a damage through as well. Oh, and here we go. Called it. We got the Fork Bolt coming down. Get that damage in on Doomsday and remove the creature. Oh, feels so good.
Actually, I don't think this is the match, so I might have to add a correction to that. I don't think this is the match where the Wasteland was actually played on the wrong turn. It might have been another match because I've seen a lot of these matches. So I cannot remember if it's this or the quarterfinals, but in one of them, it's addressed.
We'll cross that bridge if it comes up
Yeah,
again.
we'll cross that bridge if it comes up because I distinctly remember in the Wasteland matchup where it was supposed to have happened, um, there was an additional Volk. Actually, that Wasteland might have been fine. I just That's how you know that's how you know you've watched too many Magic games and commented too many things and recorded too many things, is when you're just like, yeah, I don't remember if that was this game, the game before, the other game you recorded. All downstream from there, Oliver.
It's okay. You know what? We just prepped the listeners. You know what I mean? Now people know to watch out for it.
Yeah. It's an Easter egg, you know? You just gotta find it. Just gotta find the Easter eggs.
You
In
know,
one of our videos.
developers don't normally hint about it, but whatever. It's an easy Easter egg. Let's put it like
Yeah.
that. Black Sky at 6 cards in hand after this draw, I
Oh, yeah.
believe. Tensai just really doesn't have to do anything with his hand, right? You're able to just hold back and kind of, even if you don't have the permission, you're able to just bluff it because you have this just amazing board presence, right? Where at the moment, this is a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, give or take. We're looking at Pyromancer's what, a 2-1, and then you got a 1-1, 2 additional 1-1s on top of that, and I think Forager's what, like a 4-4 or
Oh,
3-4?
so this is representing a 1-turn clock if there's any form of permission for this turn or a brainstorm. So Black Sky is really into this situation where you have to try to go for it if you have it. Of
Dude.
course, another land in Strix would be a way to kind of fog a little bit of damage and be able to get through another turn, but this is kind of the end of the line for Black Sky. We're approaching that moment where you just got to have the combo and go for it.
Oh, yeah. This is getting to that point.
We'll have to see what happens. This was a shuffle off the ponder, of course, so not liking what we see in the top 3, and that is not a good sign, as we like to call it.
Oh, no.
Passing back? Ooh. All right.
I can tell you Forager is a 3-3. You got 2-1 there, so that's 5 power there, plus a 1-1, 6, 7, 8. 8 on board?
Yep. So one short. There was no brainstorm in hand on Tensai's turn there to be able to make this lethal. Swinging for 8. Get Black Sky down to 1. We've gotten all these cards back with Forager.
Looks like we're probably going to go down to 1 here.
Yep.
Interestingly,
Of note,
no, we can't.
Doomsday now kills you, right?
Yeah, we can't do Doomsday.
All right. This. Oh, and that's Bolt. Yeah,
That's
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 all
over. That's
she
over.
wrote. Oh, that was so fantastic. You know, I do think that maybe that wasn't the Wasteland match. So
Yeah,
we're gonna have to see if that comes up later
I don't
on.
think this is the Wasteland match because it wasn't.
It's all right.
I know in the Wasteland match there was supposed to have been multiple Volks, which is why it never matters. So I don't think this was the Wasteland match because we only saw the one Volk. So he probably did play that correctly. So for those watching all the way ahead, we might have been mistaken about that because we have watched way too many games. So that's on me.
Our apologies,
But now,
Tensai, for
but
talking about
now
your
you
perfect
know.
play.
But now you know in one of these videos of Tensai, of the many on this channel where he plays Izzet Delver, he has a misplay on Wasteland.
Well, there we go. Let's jump into these sideboards real quick. So Black Sky Doc, looking at his sideboard, he's got 2 Carpet of Flowers, 2 Flusterstorms, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 Surgical Extraction, 2 Veil of Summer, 1 Abrupt Decay, 2 Defense Grids, 2 Mystical Disputes, and 1 Massacre. What are you liking for Black Sky Doc out of the sideboard?
He should totally bring in Massacre. Completely. Totally. Seems useful here.
Agree to disagree.
I'm kidding. It's gonna be the double Carpet of Flowers, probably a Fluster. I imagine Veil, and maybe Defense Grids.
I do really like the defense grids. I also really like Decay to stymie early pressure. However, that's going to kind of be up in the air of what Black Sky is assuming will be coming out of Tensai's sideboard plan. Carpet of Flowers is the snap keep, right? Like Carpet of Flowers is the anti-Delver card in
Oh, yeah.
every
It's
single
great.
list that Carpet of Flowers occurs in. Yeah. It's like, go ahead, wasteland my lands. Go ahead. I'll still get mana. It's all right. Let's jump on over to Tensai's side real quick then. Tensai's rocking 2 Pyroblasts, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 2 Soul Guide Lantern, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Abrade, 1 Null Rod, 2 Price of Progress, 2 Pyroclasm, and 1 Infamous Blood Moon. What are you liking out of this sideboard plan?
I really like the Surgicals. There is an interesting line of playing that could arrive with Surgical, if you play it right. I like the Surgicals against Doomsday.
Well, the great thing about Surgical, right, is after somebody makes a Doomsday pile and just get anything in the graveyard, you just mess it up. It's just
Exactly.
like shuffle. Just shuffle. And of course, the other great thing is when you're rocking this Force of Will Daze Spell Pierce deck, if you can hit a single Doomsday and you have this, the Surgical, it's just game over then at that
Oh,
point.
it's great.
Exactly. I do also kind of like the Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast to a certain degree. I guess there's some possibility of Price of Progress. I don't think you
I
really
don't
need
like
it.
it.
You're pressuring so much. And at the same time, Black Sky Doc is already going to be heavily incentivized to fetch for the 3 basics that he has. Of course, there's no way for Black Sky to actually get access to green through his basics, so there might be a way that that comes up. but I can't imagine Price of Progress comes in either. It's yeah, I think you're kind of right. I think it's going to be coming down to these surgicals for sure, and potentially the pyroblasts. It kind of depends a little bit on what you're willing to take out. I like the idea of taking out the true name nemesises just because they're a little slow. Although you could potentially do Brazen Borrower instead if you wanted. The whales also are certainly a card that you could cut. But then also this Forked Bolt I think is something that can be coming out as well. What do you think?
I think Fork Bolt might come out. Maybe the Chain Lightning. It just depends.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Chain Lightning is, I mean, the same thing that Lightning Bolt does in this matchup, right? That if Black Sky tries to make a pile that he is waiting a turn to go off, you can just immediately punish it with Chain Lightnings and Lightning Bolts and just end the game right there at that moment. So yeah, we'll kind of have to see the way this goes out. Black Sky Doc, I believe both players keeping 7, right? And
Yeah,
fetching for an Underground Sea.
seems like he wants to start off very strong. Good pole position, I would say.
And
Playing
we're
with
moving
Ponder.
up top. Well, let's see if we like what is on top.
And it looks
I'm
you got
not
the
gonna lie.
cards.
Every single time I see Soul Guide Lantern, I need to quickly read it again just to make sure I remember what it does.
It
Just because,
exiles on the ATB, like random card that you want to choose in the graveyard, and then you tap it to exile everything, and then there's like a 1 cost tap or something. I don't remember.
yeah, to draw a card. It's just like an alternate version of Tormod's Crypt and Relic of the Progenitus, right? It's just like a mashing of the two of them. There's a lot of text on that one little uncommon.
Yeah, it's an interesting card.
And we're seeing the pass back.
What are we gonna play? Play fetch land. Immediately, probably gonna get a Volk, I imagine.
Yeah, there's no reason, out of at least the standard Doomsday list, there's no reason to go for your basics. Unless for some reason you brought in Blood Moon and were trying to just play around your own Blood Moon. But you might as well just go ahead and get your Volks the vast majority of the time.
Yeah. I mean, we also see price progress. I mean, if you brought in price progress, that'd probably be a bad idea.
I guess. I suppose though at the same time, you are not worried about Doomsday dealing much damage to you, right? You are the only person dealing damage to yourself when you're when you're going up against Doomsday. No longer are we in the good old Doomsday for Tendrils of Agony lines, right?
Oh,
Like,
be funny though if we still saw that.
oh, that would be amazing. I would love some retro Doomsday.
Oh yeah, good Doomsday pile nowadays though. We're gonna be easy winning. I remember when Doomsday was kind of like the niche deck that no one played, as you had the tendrils line is what you would go down. Now it's just great. You know, you get your cavern, you get your what is it, mystical teachings or whatever down there, or whatever the card is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh,
Uh,
the Ideas Unbound.
yeah, Ideas Unbound. You just go down with Ideas Unbound and put Thassa's Oracle somewhere in that pile, and you're fine. Always great.
And we're seeing the defense grid come down turn 2. It looks like these defense grids did come in. I'm really excited for after this match to be able to look at what Black Sky's sideboard plan was and what he took out. I always have difficulty when I look at this list to figure out what comes out when you have all these cards coming in. However, I do have to wonder if there are Force of Will still in this list at this point. Like you have so many other ways to protect your combo when you're going for it that aren't so that aren't low on card equity like the same way that a Force of Will is, right? If your Force of Will doesn't succeed, you've just massively 2-for-1 yourself and kind of blown yourself out. So I wouldn't be surprised if these Force of Wills come out. However, as many people know, I am also hugely biased against Force of Will and regularly cut it out of my decks after sideboarding. So that might be a little of my own bias coming out.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if he cut maybe like 2, but like not the whole kit. You still need like at least 2, just because you never know when you might need them.
And we're seeing a Delver come down. The pressure has begun.
Oh yeah. Any eat a days here? Oh, the reminder of defense grid. Can't really do much. It's always a fun one.
Hey, it's fair. It affects both players the
It
same,
does.
okay?
It does. It's a neat card and how it works, you know? Just don't touch my stuff and I want the 2 ships passing in the night, you know? Don't touch my stuff and I won't touch yours. I'm just gonna play my turn. Please don't counter me.
And we're seeing top bottom draw. So there is no known card on top for this Delver flip. It is going to be a blind flip going forward. And let's see if Blackside just goes for it under this defense grid protection.
Maybe.
If he's got it, he'll go for it for sure. Show me that Dark Rit Doomsday. Do it. Do it.
I think more fun would be like Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual. More fun line. Then you do Doomsday. Of
Just have extra black mana floating
course.
for borderline no reason. Looking at the piles, oh, that'd be amazing.
Of
So
course.
great.
Fine. I never
One
know when
thing
you need it.
One thing of note also when looking at Black Sky's list, Black Sky is deciding to go with the Sultai version of Doomsday, right? With the green splash for Decays and Veil of Summers and Carpet of Flowers, where we'd kind of been seeing these either four colors or Esper Doomsday lists for a while, right? Like just so Black Sky has just completely avoided going with the Teferi package at all, which I'm not gonna lie, feels a little counterintuitive for me. But again, I absolutely am not a Doomsday player.
I mean, we have the defense grids on the side, so we don't really need the Teferi package. It does effectively the same kind of thing as Teferi, minus the fact that Teferi can bounce something, which could either bounce your stuff or theirs. It's got its pros and cons. I mean, maybe playing white, you can get STP, but then it's got its ups and downs in that. I really like Black Sky's dock list for just like pretty much blue, black, with the splash green just for the carpets.
It is incredibly clean.
Hmm?
And we're getting this tropical island. Maybe this represents there being a veil in
Carpet?
hand, or yeah, or carpet.
I think it's carpet. I know we're playing Wastelands on the other side. I really wouldn't bring one of my two green sources into the into the match unless I'm going to play something green.
The other potential here, of course, is
Uh-oh.
having access to abrupt decay, and we going for it.
I'm going to make a pile.
Well, I mean, if you have brainstorm in hand, you can just immediately go for it here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's nothing that Tensai can do at this point. So we're gonna have to see if this is a pass back pile or not. So all about whether or not we got that brainstorm.
Hopefully it's not a pass back pile. Really hoping.
Well, so Black Sky's at 9 after this Doomsday resolves, right?
Yeah.
So if there's flip, bolt, bolt, you lose.
Yes. That's a very real possibility.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why the chain lightning is so much better than fork bolt, right? We were just talking about it. And that is why I wonder if there's the abrupt decay in hand, if this is a pass back pile, just because that at least stymies the potential for you to actually be killed out. You'll have to Tensai will literally need to go land, bolt, 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 which is still feasible. But we're gonna have to see what happens after this pile.
Yeah, it can't be pass back though because we had a defense grid out, so we actually have to like do it before.
Oh yeah, you do it on your turn and then ship it over, and then Tensai has to have land 3 bolts at that point. But we'll have to see what this green with his tropical island was fetched for.
Hmm? I mean, land for 3 bolts isn't impossible. You know, just pull a Shahar Shenhar and circa what like 2011. Bolt you and bolt you and bolt you. Oh, lightning hill's response. I'll bolt you again. You're dead.
That's the way she goes sometimes. Oh, bring up these classic moments.
It was an excellent line. You know, no one saw that line until the last second. I don't even think LSV brought it up. He's like, oh, the fourth bolt until they saw the fourth bolt. Because you know the 3 bolts are not live because you have the lightning heal. Now, fourth bolt you can do lightning bolt, and then on the third bolt when you know they're going to heal in response, just go for one more.
Oh, it's
Defense
a
grid.
second grid. Interesting. So, all right, this is a pass back pile. Let's see it. Let's see this flip bolt bolt.
When we
Flip.
see a flip, I don't know if we're going to see it.
Kind of what it looks like is going to come down to. Unfortunately, because defense grade is attacks for 3, I believe, right?
I think it's
Yeah, for
4.
3.
Is
It
it
is. It
4
is
right now?
3. So the stifle is not live. Of course, you can't pay for. You could play 4 for the stifle. But we don't have enough mana for that. So this seems like it is over. There is the possibility of Tensai having access to a single force of will against Black Sky's line. We're seeing first bolt. Okay.
Yeah, but it's 6 total right now because you got 2 defense rated up.
Oh, that's right. There's 2. They stack on each other. Oh no. Yeah, that's so right. Not there. You need to win exactly in this moment. We're fetching. Are we going to go cantripping for last bolt? Seeing the third and the last vault coming out. Can we see these last 3 points of damage that Tensai needs to find?
I'm actually trying to remember what happens here.
No spoilers. No spoilers, Mr. Jack Dax. I want to see this happening. All right, here we go.
Gonna be interesting, to say the least.
Oh, accidentally scoops up the bulk that was just searched for while cutting. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. That actually happens, and there's a reminder about that. Don't worry.
Let's see it. Looks like this is a cantrip coming. Ooh, there's something about that brainstorm that I really like. I don't know why. Mr. Jackdax, can you tell me a little bit about this brainstorm?
Very special to us. We
Oh, noble.
yeah. Well, double. Very special to us because it was our first season artwork for the MTGPL Discord. So for those of you who've never been on their Discord, we have in the description we have a link to our Discord. But we gave those out on the first run around to all our champion winners of every Saturday, and then we gave a set of 4 out in our first invitational. Which the next invitational is coming out very soon. It's in May 1st. If you want to qualify for that, you can join our league. You earn points through league, and you can also earn points through the Saturday challenges. Every Saturday. And then if you're in the Sunday time, if you're on the European time zone, we have one that's bi-weekly on Sundays. And now here's the fun line of Surgical.
We get to shuffle.
Yeah, we get to shuffle.
Right. Ideas Unbound, Double Pedal, Edge of Autumn, Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, there's some really bad piles in here if you get this wrong.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is interesting.
So they're rolling here to figure out what goes where. In terms of like how to shuffle this, because there's only 5 cards in the library. So there isn't like a good way to like put the cards back in some order unless you roll for it.
A little bit of
there you go.
A little difficult because I guess it's trackable to know what the exact order is, but whatever.
Yeah, because you can't really shuffle a 5-card pile that well.
No, you cannot. I have tried. And cutting it.
Yeah, and cutting it. That's where it gets really screwed up.
Is that Cavern and Lotus Petal in hand?
It is Cavern and Lotus Petal.
So you need to hit. So Black Sky needs to hit exactly one of the 2 cantrips off the top.
Yes, and he does.
And it's Edge of Autumn. Hit the Ideas Unbound. Show it.
That is one of the 2 cantrips that was needed.
Float a black, sack, draw.
Yep.
Ideas Unbound. Oh, wow. And this does it with Lotus Petal and land in hand.
Yep.
You either hit the last cantrip and 2 Lotus Petals, or you just get to the Oracle, and yeah, that's amazing. Tensai going with his signature clap when something amazing happens in a game. Yeah. Oh, what a great game. Oh my goodness.
What a line.
It was so tight. We had when the Doomsday finally happened, it unfortunately had to be a pass back one. So Tensai had the out of getting to blind flip Delver, bolt. We saw almost all of it. The brainstorm couldn't quite find the last bolt, but able to find the surgical to make it so Black Sky needs to basically hit that's roughly around 50%, right? To be able to get to cantrip into Ideas Unbound, maybe less than that.
Yeah, we did. We did talk about this after the game because we decided that it was very weird on the numbers because you had 5 cards left and 3 of them were dead. So if you drew Petal or Petal, you were screwed. If you drew the actual Oracle, you were also screwed because the Oracle didn't have enough what is it? It didn't have enough devotion. It didn't have enough devotion to actually look at the library properly. Yeah. So you still lost if you drew the Oracle. So there's only 2 good cards you could ever draw. It had to be one of the cantrips.
And then if you get the Edge of Autumn, it has to go directly into Ideas Unbound because you still will. If any of those dead draws are still, that was exactly the line that needed to happen. Oh my goodness,
that's how bad it was. We were talking about percentages. It was like, yeah, you had 2 cards that had to be exact, and then the percentages gets really whack if you get the wrong card. If you get the right card, but then not the right card after it.
So that is basically a little bit more than 20% there. So like roughly around.
You need a 1 in 5. You need a 1 in 5 to have a perfect one. So that's like guarantee you're gonna win anyways. That means you always draw the Ideas Unbound. And then there's a 2 in 5 chance that you get the Ideas Unbound or the other card, which increases your chances. But if you do that, you end up in a separate scenario where you have a 50-50 shot of having the ideas inbound or the non-ideas inbound. And if you have the non-ideas inbound, you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting the right card after that,
That's really interesting.
which is a 25% chance of being wrong.
Yeah. Well,
25% chance being right. It's 75% chance being wrong.
so yeah, it actually is exactly 25% there,
Yeah,
right?
it's really bad.
Is 25% guaranteed win, and then 5% off of the redraw, which is a 1 in 4. Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's great. What a great game. We're seeing that players aren't sideboarding at all. But do you think, if you were looking at this without us knowing that already, would you think any sideboarding plans would change going into this last game with Tensai being on the play now?
I wouldn't imagine it. No, I would not imagine it at all. You just play it out. You just go for it. You're probably gonna keep your carpets, imagining that you have carpet of flowers in your deck. Um, yeah, no, you wouldn't change it a single thing.
Do you bring in a braids all of a sudden if you're on Tensai's side because you've seen the defense grids? I don't personally think I would.
No,
There's
no.
nothing else to hit besides the Baleful Strixes.
Yeah, that's a pretty dead card. You know, what are you gonna kill with it other than
Just defense grid. Just
yeah,
defense grid.
like
Well,
even
we're
with the
gonna have to
damage
do that.
side, there's nothing really to hit with it.
If only that could hit players also.
Ah,
Then we'd be in the market.
we're cooking with the gas if we start hitting players with that.
And we are seeing turn one pressure with Delver being on the play here. That is a lot scarier on Black Sky Doc's side for
Oh,
sure.
100%. I would not want to
Both
be in
players
this.
keeping 7.
Mind you, there are still dazes in this. We're playing on the draw dazes.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Just deal with it. Hope it doesn't come up.
We're seeing fetch drop. This has got to be a carpet flower start, right?
I would imagine so. I don't see another reason why you would have your tropical island out as your first land. Oh, we're gonna see that trop. We're gonna see the carpet. Seems like we're gonna eat either a force or days here. Not sure which.
I mean, this is a must answer target if you're on Tensai side. It just turns off your entire mana denial plan. It makes your dazes and your spell pierces bad. I would imagine that if you have the interaction, you would spend it here.
Yeah, but it seems like we don't.
That is
Unfortunately.
a good sign on Black Sky side. Black Sky making a mana in the second main phase. This is why Carpet is so amazing. It isn't just oh my god, what? What? The 2 carpets? That's nutty.
Good start. Good start. Guaranteed mana for life here.
Yeah, this is disgusting. This is so good. Oh
That's
my
right.
goodness. We have already we have 3 mana turn 2. If Tensai decides to play another land, which probably will, if it is one of the islands, Black Sky Dock has access to 5 mana on turn 2. This is amazing. I love this.
It is
Yeah,
disgusting.
this is why carpet's so great, right? Is not only is it setting up mana for later down the line, protecting you against all of Tensai's mana denial actions, so the dazes, the spell pierces,
The
potentially
wastelands.
plus the wastelands. It just turns off all these cards. It makes value on the turn that it comes down alone. It's so good. Revealing brainstorm. This was all before the flip actually
Yep.
happened.
You can see he was about to add it to his hand. He's like, "Wait a minute, I need to actually show you what it is. I know what it is, but you don't."
Proof for the camera. Proof for the camera. And we just gotta start chunking in and hope to be able to stop Black Sky from going off here.
Yeah, you really better hope on that one.
Does not play an additional land. I like this line. I like this.
Draw, probably make some colors soon.
So of note, just life totals we can see on Tensai's phone. Tensai diligently keeping track of it, everything for us.
Same with
But just the
Lifestyle.
middle bars.
I'm sure
Oh
the
yeah,
middle
of
bars
course.
will get updated. I'm sure. Um, Again,
No,
I'm the one recording this, so I know I updated at some point.
no shade at Mr. Jack Jack. Zero shade being thrown around. And we are
I
seeing
do
the
know it gets
Doomsday
updated
come
at
up.
some point. That's a nice Doomsday. That's a nice way to force it. Well, let's see if it comes up.
Both carpet of flowers being utilized already, of course.
Yeah, I'd see something interesting. Hopefully, I'm gonna
I
exile the
mean,
Forager.
Flusterstorm or Veiled Summer are just amazing here.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna force. It's a
And
force.
2 forces stayed in. Or at least 2 of them did.
At least 2. We eat those. We take those.
Of course, when this Doomsday resolves, the difference of being down at 7 or 8, not exactly massive at all. We're still dead to 2 bolts, but it does have to be 2 bolts, 2 cards in hand. I mean, again, if one of these is a brainstorm, Black Sky Doc just immediately has it right now.
Oh yeah. See, now we got our life totals fixed. We're at 7 and 18, effectively.
Thank you to our table spotter, Mr. Jack Dax.
Yeah, when I was still doing it. Yeah.
And we're gonna have to see what this pile is.
Hard pile.
Well, it's so hard to talk about, right? Because it is really dependent on the hand. Again, where if you have, we're just gonna say it again. If you have it, if you have the brainstorm in hand, you get Lion's Eye Diamond, you get Thassa's Oracle, you get Street Wraith and Edge of Autumn and Ideas Unbound, right? That's just the easy pile if you have the access to the brainstorm. But it's these piles where we don't quite have it and we need to think about what Tensai's potential lines are on the subsequent turns where things really start to get messy.
Yeah, that's always the truth of the matter. Um, the lines can get really interesting too, because you could have a Street Wraith in hand. Because I believe it runs a one of Street Wraith, so you could have like a couple different ways that you could pile this on. You could also try and countermeasure people by like putting like the card that you actually need on the second from the top, in case some wacko way takes off your way to messes with your library somehow. There are so many weird ways that you could mess up this pile on purpose. Also mess up this pile by accident.
Oh, that's very true. I mean, just there being a surgical in Tensai's hand is the last piece, or is another piece of interaction is enough to make these real wonky.
Yeah, you live and die by these piles, which is why you see most of the time being played the pile on the Doomsday player side. Doomsday's all fine and dandy until you get to the pile time. Pile time is when all this stuff happens.
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I guess my that on the spot line that I just talked about doesn't actually do it because that was an old predict line when predict was still in the deck.
Hmm?
Oh man, these Doomsday piles just keep changing on me. How am I supposed to keep track of all these different piles when I don't even play the deck?
You should just play in Doomsday.
Well, there you go.
Play the
That
fun
seems up my
variant.
alley. Let's make graveyard ordering actually matter. Let's
Play
play
the fun
Shadow
variant.
Wave.
Yeah, play the fun variant. Just mess with people. No one expects
Passing
Entomb.
back.
Literally, no one expects that. Great.
Oh,
Down to
I love me
4.
some Entomb, but only with World Gorger, of course.
Hmm.
Swinging down to 4. Let's see the land Bolt Bolt.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see that. I just don't feel it in my bone.
I will
We're
take your
doing
word
the
for it as the
brainstorm.
person who's played this already, who watched this already.
I mean, I feel it in my bones is because we've only seen the brainstorm, and if we're brainstorming right now, we need a land. We are really hunting for a land.
Well, now it's impossible to Bolt Bolt, right?
Oh yeah, we get close though. I'm sure there's got to be something.
Fetching away, going down to 17. Imagine getting other Volk here.
Oh yeah, has to be. I don't see why you would get an island. If you're gonna be screwed one way or the other, you might as well get the bulk. From what I remember, Tensai isn't running any actual basic mountains.
There is one basic mountain, 2 basic islands, and 1 mountain in this list from what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is one mountain. So maybe, if he really wanted to, he could have gotten the mountain and not created more mana for Black Sky.
Oh no! I mean, at this point, if you've already tapped down the other Volk, you need to get a blue land because you can't. It's impossible for you to win on this turn. It is all about. Yep, and we're cantripping again. We're just digging.
Yeah, we're not winning on this turn. Definitely not.
All right, find the surgical. We want surgical to mess up the pile and have Black Sky get the bad end of variance on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is not a snap ponder for Tensai. This is not looking good. Is there any other way?
Double
In
days.
theory, just having double days. No, I guess double days. No, it won't do it with the carpets anymore. So you either need that or you either wanted surgical or the forced blue cards are really what you needed. And let's see the way that this is about to shake down. Black Sky getting to draw the first card, getting a trigger off a single carpet of flowers at the moment. It looks like. I imagine 2 blue.
2 black, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Baleful
blue and black.
Strix.
Draw a card. Black again, probably.
Another Strix.
Yep.
Oh, this is an interesting pile.
Yeah, the hand is a very interesting hand. Okay, we're gonna see a land. We're looking at 3 cards in hand. So we had to have drawn some sort of way to draw cards. Maybe we had a Street Wraith in the pile, or maybe we drew the what is that actually called?
The Edge of Autumn.
Yeah, that's what it is. Edge of Bottom.
Yeah. I imagine these last 2 cards are Cavern, Thassa's Oracle.
Hmm?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Can't see why it would be a Lotus Petal or a LED. Doesn't make much sense.
No, not when we have this much mana. When we're immediately going into this, like, pass to the next turn after the Doomsday, when you have 2 Carpet of Flowers, you just assume you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
And we just cast Thassa's Oracle.
We only have
Interesting that we
2
didn't get
cards.
Cavern.
We have 2 cards in library though. We have 4 Devotion.
Oh,
We're
was the
fine.
Oracle already in hand, I wonder? Before the Doomsday happened.
Potentially. It shouldn't matter too much here though, because we still got mana. Nope, looks like that's gonna be conceding.
Wow. That was a fantastic game. Oh my goodness.
Oh lord, Flusterstorm and Underground Sea were the piles.
Real interesting.
I wonder what was else in hand. We have an LED. What was the 3rd card? Was the 3rd card the Misty?
I think it was just 2 at that point. I think the dice was still at 3, but it looked like there were
Yeah.
just 2 sleeves down at that point. But it does look like the Oracle was in hand because the way that he drew the cards, he had the 2 set down after Doomsday, and he just drew the 1 and immediately started chaining them, being the Baleful Strixes.
Oh, yeah.
That was what a fantastic match to watch. That was so great. Great play from both players. We did see the Blood Balloon come in, and looks like the 3 blasts and 2 surgicals, kind of like we predicted.
Yep.
Black Sky Dock, 2 defense grids, 1 Flusterstorm, 2 Carpet of Flowers. Looks like we
2
looks like
Flusterstorms.
we got 2 Flusterstorms. Yeah, really all the cards that we identified.
Took out both Brazens, 2 True Names, a Chain Lightning, and a Force Bolt.
Interesting. Makes a lot of sense across the board. Kind of your slower cards. The Chain Lightning is an interesting one for me over Ethereal Foragers, but I can also get that in terms of just when you need to, like, if you're on the control plan, just being able to value and regurgitate your Force of Wills and Dazes, right? But again, really fantastic game. Oh, it looks like some forces, at least 1 force did come out.
Yep. A Force of Days. Don't know what else came out.
Dark Ritual, Veil.
Thoughtseize?
Oh, and it looks like a Veil came in as well. Wow,
Yep.
fantastic match. Really fantastic run for both of our players. Tensai, of course, making it all the way to a semifinals of a league final again. And Black Sky Dock is about to go on to face Utopia Mycon in the finals. This is incredibly impressive. Mr. Jackdax, you got anything to say before we head out?
Nope. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you around on the Discord.
Definitely. Take care, everybody. And as always, let us be your local meta.
Of course.